Will this card truly live up to the name of Nightmare, or will it be a dream to play? Find out what's going on as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So we've got a brand new week, and that means it's time for a brand new card. This time around, we're talking about Nightmare. Nightmare is the evil ruler of the dream dimension, where tormented humans are brought during their sleep. He is a creation of the humans' need to dream, and adopted his shape to go live in exile among the lower universes. He became a member of the Fear Lords, who try to get the Great Fear to take over the Earth, and whenever he grows bored or has run out of ideas to torment dreamers, he visits the realm of the mortals, where he can control a nightclub. In this nightclub, the patrons are briefly exposed to their nightmares so he can seek motivation. Nightmare is a Class 3 demon. As one of the Fear Lords, he possesses cosmic powers. Without him, those that slumber would come asunder. The monsters would multiply and their realms would collapse in calamity. He has been referred to as one of the most powerful beings in the realm. It is on the same size and power as the Eternals and has the same status and power level as Dormammu. And within his own realm, he is virtually omnipresent and omnipotent. He is much weaker outside his home realm and can be overcome by those who have conquered their many fears. Nightmare has a mirror that can show anybody their greatest fear, and a wand that is capable of generating a maze that is nearly inescapable. He roams his realm on a demonic black winged horse, and draws his power from the psychic energy in all subconscious minds. As long as there are beings that dream, he will exist, and while he has been defeated, he will never truly be destroyed. He is dependent on the need of dreams, and if humanity stops dreaming, he would cease to exist, though humanity would quickly go insane. Nightmare often seeks control and power. He is a mastermind, visionary, fiercely independent, determined, strategic, and overly confident. He is vicious and maniacal. His bitterness for humanity grows inside him each and every day. He believes that humans actually want to be frightened, so he intimidates them with his evil laugh and uses his magic to set obstacles in his realm, and many pass for them. He does not display any kindness and often will feed the longest on those who are young and therefore have not been able to face their fears. Nightmare can make anyone in his realm see almost anything he can come up with and then make it very real to that person. He is capable of lifting tons, has proficiency in hand-to-hand combat, is capable of teleporting, is virtually indestructible, has nearly unlimited command of discharging energy, can summon several lower beings in his realm such as succubuses to do his bidding, or his mount, Dreamstalker. His powers do not affect any who are awake, however, but his images and other creations can continue to haunt a person in their waking hours. Nightmare only has power in the dream dimension, but he can make anyone in his realm see almost anything and can make it very real to them. This is represented in Marvel Snap as when he shows up, it is because you have fallen into his realm. So now he can make you see almost anything and make it very real. So in Marvel Snap, what he does is on reveal, he will take all the cards that are currently in your hand and he will change their text to another card that has the same exact power as them. He is a 3-cost, -1 power, and I believe that he is about a 2-star rating. As much as I kind of like Nightmare, I do believe that he is maybe, and just maybe, one too many costs for what he does. If he was a 2 -1, he might be good. But that's the same problem that Sauron kind of had. The fact that Sauron was his best as a 2 cost and kind of hasn't even seen play as a 1 cost. And this is the closest kind of representation you'll get with Sauron. Because it does the same exact thing as Sauron does. To a certain degree, but it affects the stuff in your hand, not in your deck. For a power spike, it comes the closest to a Cerebro, where it's a 3-0. And while Cerebro doesn't give power itself, it's going to give power to your other card. Now, the card that everybody is going to be talking about and one to use with this particular nightmare is going to be the Infinite. But you don't just have to use cards like the Infinite. You can also use cards like Marta. Or you can even use cards like Crossbones. Do be cautious though, as your 6s can still get weird effects, like your Infinite can become a destroyer. So it's not 100% win rate. So basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to put your heavy cards in here that have bad effects. Your Martas, your Titanias, your even Ebony Moss. And you can even look at other cards that have bad effects, like your Tumas, your Crossbones, and your even Call Obsidians. But the problem with that is if you're running this particular deck, you almost need War Machine in here. That's kind of your backup in case your Nightmare doesn't go off correctly. Or you don't get your Nightmare in time. Because if you don't have a War Machine in this particular Nightmare deck, or maybe even the Sauron itself, if you don't catch the Nightmare, your deck is pretty much useless. And even when you do get the Nightmare, if you've got to play down the Marta, if you've got to play down the Titania, if you've got to play down the Crossbones, well, maybe not Crossbones, but the Tuma, and then you draw a Nightmare, the Nightmare isn't going to affect those cards. So Nightmare becomes one of those cards that each and every turn you don't play it, it gets a little bit worse. And kind of a little bit better at the same exact time. Because you want to play the cards in your hand that Nightmare affected, and you're trying to put bad cards in your hand. You're not trying to put something good in your hand. You're not putting a Iron Man in your hand, because your Iron Man's not going to get any good ability off of it. It's going to be a 5-0 at that point. The other problem that you have with it is the fact that because it is on reveal, you have to worry about the Cosmo. If you play this down, and your opponent happened to play Cosmo that same turn, your hand is kind of biffed. So it's this really interesting, really weird, really niche deck where in order to get it to work, I would highly recommend probably throwing Sauron in the deck. And I would highly recommend probably throwing War Machine in the deck. And even when you do those two things, if you don't draw your Sauron early, you're in trouble. If you don't draw your Nightmare early, you're in trouble. It's going to be a flashy card. It's going to be an interesting card that most people are going to look at and go, I lost because of the thing. And when you're playing your opponent, if your opponent plays a Nightmare, you don't know what they have in their hand anymore. But it's not going to be consistent, because if you're trying to make sure that you have a deck that runs well and gets a card by turn 3 that will really make your deck win, then just play Mr. Negative. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun.